someone was asking about like a difference between a saturated and unsaturated. I don't know whether the pronunciation is okay, but then saturated or saturated, I don't know how you pronounce it. Saturated hydrocarbon and unsaturated hydrocarbon. So basically, when you talk about saturated, to me, I consider saturated something which is fully utilized, having all its resources fully utilized, saturated. Then unsaturated, it has not utilized the resources. Okay. For instance, you may have some pennies or some cash, and then you invest some, and then you keep some. Mean that you've not fully invested your money. Okay, I can say that you're unsaturated. Then someone who has fully invested means that all the cash, he has no cash in the pockets, he has no cash in a bank, he has no cash in a wallet, but all his cash or all her cash is in the investment or business. I can say that person is fully saturated because he or she has utilized all the penny. You have the same applies to here, saturated compounds or saturated organic compound. You'll find that inorganic compounds, most of them are made of carbon, hydrogen, mainly, as though they can be accompanied with other elements or other group of atoms. It shows that the carbon, hydrogen, or these compounds, they do have what we call a carbon-carbon bond. Carbon-carbon bond or bonds. So we shall see that those ones having a single carbon-carbon bond, we normally call them saturated. Then the ones which have more than one bond, like say two bonds between a carbon-carbon atoms, like for instance the alkenes. Alkenes like ethene, propene, but1, but2, they are unsaturated. I'm going to talk about that. Then the ethynes is almost the same also. They have three bonds between the carbon-carbon. It can be a three bond between one, or they can be two of them. Like we have the dienes, the dienes, whereby in our compound we have two double bonds, or we have two triple bonds. Okay, so what you call the saturated, I think, is that one whereby the carbon has all its bonds utilized. So these bonds are composed of electrons. Sometimes we have what you call the electrons, or the bonding electrons that combine to make that join, that bond. So mean that if at all like there are two, one of them or one of the bond is not utilized, because this bond has to be utilized by at least investing it to bond with other compounds, so that it can remain with one bond that is between a carbon and carbon, and we'll call that a saturated carbon, that is a saturated organic compound, or carbon call it a saturated organic compound, or like carbon, hydrogen. Sorry about that. Ooh, wow. Ha. You get it, yeah, sorry for that. But then basically, yeah, when we talk about saturated compounds or saturated organic compounds, that's what we can talk about them. Okay, so those ones of which they have a single bond between a carbon-carbon atom, but then those ones having more than one, they are not saturated. For instance, we shall say that most of the alkanes, I can give an example of that homologous series. Most of the alkanes are saturated because they have a single bond between one carbon and the other. Okay, and then the rest of the carbon, because the carbon actually they do create they do make 4 bonds, of which they have one to the carbon. Then the rest of the bonds are being given out to actually accompany other compounds like the hydrogen and so on. But then when you look at other homologous series, I can give an example of the alkenes and alkynes. For them, they have more than one, so it's normally stated that they are unsaturated. I don't know whether I've answered you or have been preaching. Amen. I don't think I've not been preaching, but then basically that's what I can tell about saturated and unsaturated organic compound or chemical compounds. Okay, yeah. Any question you can ask down there, you can comment, you can like, because I don't think Though I'm not perfect, but at least you can like about that. Then you can still subscribe for more videos because guys, actually I'm cooking for you. Hello,